Two security officers have been killed in an attack carried out by unidentified gunmen on the Kabba Medium Security Custodial Centre in Kogi State. A number of inmates were released. 35 security officers fought to repel the attackers. 2 officers are yet to be accounted for. The Kabba Custodial facility had 294 inmates at the time of the attack. Many of them escaped after the gunmen destroyed 3 sides of the perimeter fence with explosives.
28 inmates stayed back while some voluntarily returned to the facility. The Minister of Interior, Rauf Aregbesola, has been briefed by the Comptroller General of the Nigerian Correctional Service, Haliru Nababa. The minister says a crisis response center has been activated and a special task force mobilized to recapture escaped inmates. An interagency security task force has also been detailed to trail the gunmen.
Well, for more on this, Francis ENOBORE, the spokesman of the Nigeria Correctional Centre, joins us now on Arise News Tonight. Good evening. It's good to have you on the show tonight with us. The Minister of Interior says a crisis response center has been activated as well as a special task force to trail the gunmen. What more can you tell us about these efforts to track the gunmen and restore the escaped inmates to the correctional facility or take them elsewhere?
Thank you very much for having me in. Just like you said, the Honorable Minister of Interior, Rauf Aregbesola, has already activated all recapture processes to ensure that the last man is hunted down and brought back to the Custodial Centre. And by extension, the people that perpetrated this dastardly act, every one of them will be hunted to the last man. I can tell you authoritatively now that as at the last count today, we have a total of 108 inmates already recaptured. And these are all products of the processes of tracking down escapees that the Honorable Minister has directed and activated. The Comptroller General of Corrections, Haliru Nababa, MNI, personally visited the scene of the incident and also activated some other processes to ensure that every one of the escapees is recaptured.
Now, do we have an idea of the number of gunmen that invaded the facility? And also, what kind of explosives were deployed to destroy the fences?
Well, we may not be able to say for now the actual type of explosive that was used to blast a section of the perimeter fence. They recall that the attackers came in the night, so you may not be able to put an exact figure to the number of attackers that carried out the invasion. But it suffices to mention that they came in their numbers and use sophisticated weapons, shooting sporadically before they were able to forcefully release the inmates.
Well, 2 officers lost their lives. 2 are unaccounted for. Is it still the same, the number of figures we have tonight, several hours after this incident occurred overnight? And any words so far on those missing officers?
Well, the situation still remains just as you have mentioned. We unfortunately lost 2 gallant officers to the attack. My heart goes to them, and the Comptroller General of Corrections expresses his deep condolences to the family members of those gallant officers that died in the unfortunate attack.
Now we're hearing that 28 inmates stayed back. Some voluntarily returned to the prisons. Now, are all the inmates accounted for?
Yes. 28 inmates. Immediately the invaders blasted their way to the Custodial Centre. 28 of them refused to use the opportunity to escape, while initially 266 escaped. But through the activation of the search and recapture process that we have talked about, we were able to recapture within this short period a total of 108. And the process continues. I can assure you when we will get back to the Custodial Centre, the figure would have changed.
We thank you so much, Mr. Francis ENOBORE, for your time on the show tonight. And of course, we sympathize with the families of those officers who lost their lives in this particular unfortunate incident. Thank you so much, and wish you all the best in your efforts to track down the gunmen and bring them into justice.